Hi, I'm Marii. This is Moments with Marii, a space for healing, soft living, and showing up whole. I'm glad that you're here. Having embarked on a healing journey, when you really sit and think about it, sometimes it feels like a trend. Like you get on social media and there's all these motivational videos, and there's all these people who are like, go do the journaling, do the self care, go get the facial, go get your nails done, look good, smell good, all the things that they're telling you to do. At the end of the day, you're hearing and you're seeing it. And it's like, this is what I want my life to be. I want to be free. I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to discover what my purpose is. I want to live my passions. Like, you just have this deep desire to get over all your traumas and live the life of your dreams. But I think the other part of it is where a lot of times we're told to revisit things. And in revisiting that, if you're anything like me, you're going to sit, relive, reflect, and think and ask yourself all the questions. Why did I get here? Who got me here? Who traumatized me? Am I really a victim? Was it that bad? Why did they treat me this way? Did they hate me? You ask all the things, right? And being on a healing journey for the past 4 to 5 years, I spent a large chunk of my healing journey in that phase, in that reflector phase. One thing about it, I am the queen of overthinking and reflecting. And almost every episode of mine, you will hear me say, I sat down and reflected on. And I will constantly ask myself all the questions, all the questions. And what happens with this in the beginning is when you start to really think about it and relive it, ask the questions, you're looking for clarity, and you're looking for a clarity that you ultimately, it takes a long time to get there. Because every time you reach one level of clarity, another door is going to open and you're just going to ask yourself more questions. And the best thing in this circumstance is to really just work through the trauma, feel the feels, go through everything, go to therapy, talk it out, cry it out. And eventually you'll reach a point that even if you're faced with the trigger, and even if you think about the trauma, you don't feel those uncomfortable feelings of anxiety bubbling up, right? So we reached this point, we've reflected, we've overthought, we've sought all the clarity, we try to make conclusions of things. And it's definitely a roller coaster, it's definitely a storm. But what happens when the world gets quiet? And now every time you do think about it, you don't feel the feels that you used to feel. You don't feel the triggers that you used to feel, but for some reason, you just can't stop going back. Like you can't stop thinking about it, and you can't stop labeling it, and you just can't stop overthinking it. What happens is you get stuck. And this was me about a year and a half ago, I can say. I was feeling stuck. I was reliving old arguments and abusive moments and just thinking of all the things that led me to where I'm at. And I just kept thinking about, if this didn't happen, this would be different. Like I couldn't stop going back. I didn't feel triggered inside me, but my brain just couldn't get over it. And I kept thinking about, I would have been farther along in life if this didn't happen. I wouldn't be so scared to approach my goals if this didn't happen. I would have more confidence in myself if that didn't happen. But I had to sit with myself and tell myself that the truth of the matter is I can't go back. I can't go back to the past. I can't change what I went through. I can't change the actions of the people who put me through the things that I went through. I can't change my reactions in the past. I can't change my complacency in the past. I can't change anything about the past. There is a unfortunate comfort that comes with being stuck in the past, even if that part of you was the worst time of your life. There's just this comfort in telling yourself you can't do something because this happened back in the day. But being in this place about a year and a half ago, I really want to believe that this is what healing does. It puts you in a position where you're learning how to not put yourself in that position again. How to not put yourself in position for people to play with you, to people for people to take advantage of you, for people to abuse you, for you to put yourself down and limit yourself and question yourself and gaslight yourself. Healing is about moving forward. Healing is not always about reflecting and labeling and connecting dots. It's about creating the life that you are able to be your best self in, and creating the life that helps you flourish into the person that you really deep down in your core are meant to be. Healing is really about creating the identity that embraces the version of you that is new and improved. And the fact is, you cannot reach that level of healing, and you cannot get to a healed space if you're so comfortable in that unhealed version of you. That unhealed version of you that can't get over the past ultimately. And this is not to say that what you went through is not valid or your feelings are not valid. You were hurt, you were misunderstood, you were betrayed, you were abandoned, you were confused. But it's time to get on the other side of that. And overthinking and reliving the past is not going to get you there. Now, when you sit and reflect and you think about the person you want to become, right? You can grab a pen and paper and write this out. What does she look like? What does she smell like? How does she dress? What does she eat? What type of content does she consume? How does she spend her free time? When I hit this stuck place a year and a half ago, and I made the decision that I'm going to get on the other side of healing. I'm tired of labeling. I'm tired of reliving. I'm tired of revisiting. I'm tired. I took it upon myself to really reflect on the questions I just asked, and I thought about this person that I want to become. And it took me like a whole year of sitting with it and identifying that for me. Like, what does the other side of healing look like? And I was constantly making plans. I was buying notebooks to plan my life and figure out how I want to evolve into like this new and improved version of me. And it was not up until earlier this year, about 6 months ago, where I was tired of planning. Like, I was healing, but I was taking it slow. I was setting healthy boundaries, and I did get like a lot of clarity, on a lot of things. But I'm tired of researching. I'm tired of planning. I'm tired of holding back. That's what I told myself at the top of the year. I'm going to just start, and I'm going to start messy. I'm going to start confused, and I'm going to start scared. And it's scary to step out of your comfort zone and in your safe little bubble. It's hard to get yourself out of that comfort zone where it's so quiet that you have no choice but to be in your brain and think. And obviously, if you're thinking, your thoughts just it's like a revolving door. They leave and they come back. It's the same old thoughts every single day, all day long. But in order for you to really step on the other side of healing, you got to get out of that comfort zone. You got to get out of that bubble. And I'm still scared sometimes. Like, when I start certain things, I remember I stopped myself from going to the gym postpartum, and I only like didn't go back because I was afraid to start and not be consistent. You know what I mean? So I already put in my brain that, like, because of maybe the way my health is or the way I struggle with setting boundaries for people who just don't respect my time and just expect me to always be there for them. I'm afraid that I'm going to start going to the gym for only 2 weeks, and then people are going to need me, and I'm not going to have any free time, and then I'm just going to stop going. So I'm just not going to start altogether. And I was just stuck in that perfectionist mindset. I hate starting things that I cannot complete to my full capacity. So I just won't start it altogether. But one day, let's continue with this gym example. There was a day that I felt so bad, like physically bad. My everything was aching. Like, my hips was hurting, my back was hurting, like everything was hurting. And I just got up and I went to the gym. And I just went. And I made it so easy for me because I went into it with compassion. I didn't say, like, okay, I'm going to do 5 days of workouts and I'm going to do abs this day, legs this day, core this day. I was like, I just want to move my body. So I set a goal for myself that was just go move your body. And I was consistent for weeks and weeks and weeks. This was not a good week. I definitely have not been to the gym yet, but I'm being compassionate with myself through the process. And this is definitely me being on the other side of healing, because the person that I want to become, or the person that I am, is a person who does want to move and wants to be healthy and wants to, if I'm lucky, shed few pounds. But it's all about being healthy and moving my body. So whatever feeds into that is what I do. I stop overthinking it. I stop over planning it. I stop telling myself I could do it. I can't do it, excuse me. And I just do what feels right in the moment. And I think this is ultimately the point of being on the other side of healing. Set soft and gentle goals for yourself. Assess what it is that you're needing in the moment and just give it to yourself with full autonomy and unapologetically. It means going back to school, starting that business, incorporating more self care in your life, starting the hobby. Let this message be the permission that you need to start messy, confused, scared, uncomfortable, inequipped, and with no direction. True healing is about the first step to becoming that best version of yourself. We've been conditioned to get wrapped up in like labels, trends, learning to cope instead of learning to evolve, learning to seek clarity instead of learning that sometimes you have to outgrow that old unhealed version of yourself and step into a healed space. We are learning to stop and feel, which is fine. You have to go through your emotions in order to get over them. But the fact is, we forget that we actually have to keep going once we felt what we were feeling. And we have to rise above it. And the reason why this is so important is, God forbid, you end up in the position where you may have to deal with something similar to that unhealed space or that traumatic environment. Now you know how to navigate it a little bit better because you're navigating it in the healed version of yourself, not that unhealed version of yourself that allowed people to just use you anyhow. The version of yourself that gave everybody the benefit of the doubt, the version of yourself that didn't have boundaries. Like, now you're more informed. So if somebody try to play in your face again, you're not going to let it happen because now you stepped on the other side of healing. There's no more thinking back to the arguments you used to have. Now you're thinking back to, somebody try to argue with me, I'm too healed for this. I'm just going to walk away and let you be mad at yourself. Let you argue with yourself. Or I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm not going to let you play with me. Or I am going to step into the purpose, the passions that I have with the full confidence that I can do this, not with that lack of confidence that I had before. Ultimately, being on the other side of healing is to be able to face any type of circumstance head on, but you're giving yourself the compassion and the grace through the journey. So let me leave you with this. Stop overthinking and start actually healing. When you figured out who it is you want to be, just be that person. Even if you don't feel like you're there, you just act like you are. And by nature, you will start to unlock the parts of yourself that you need to make that life a reality. Just start messy, start confused, and start unsure. Getting that confidence that you need to be in a healed space, it does not come from assurance. It comes from you actually taking the first step. But the problem is, the more you overthink it, you're just going to keep moving the goalposts and you're never going to start. You're never going to feel ready. So just start today. And if you've been stuck in a cycle of overthinking, I really hope that this message is something that you really needed to hear to get yourself started on becoming the person that you are destined to become. Thank you so much for spending a moment with me today. If this message resonated with you, make sure you share it with someone that you love, and make sure that you're following on all platforms to stay up to date with Moments with Marii. Until next time, be gentle with yourself.